technically speaking, yes, but I still would need fucking the old hardware. Look at this. This, well, I mean, it's called Europa, but I only knew it because in Germany it was only known as the Gilde. And man, is this a fucking great game. Seriously, this is... It's one of the best games, honestly. I can't even. It's ridiculously addictive. You can basically play it forever because, well, the game has... it gives you the opportunity to do what you want with it, and it goes like, go ahead, enjoy. You can set up some parameters, yes, but basically the game lends itself very well to just free play. And games that do that tend to be rather dear to my heart. I mean, you know. Paradox is also pretty good at that, with Crusader Kings and other things. So, today we're gonna enjoy a little bit of this. Technically speaking, even a bit longer, potentially, because, well, as long as the internet holds, I actually have no other thing to do today. I mean, we're talking about early 2000s. I think the Guild came out in 2005. I'm not too sure if it's happy, if that's true. I'm just so happy that I actually get it to run. Because, well, this game is a bit special. If you play, or, well, if you buy it off of GOG or Steam or whatever and you try to launch it, then you get, first and foremost, you get two options of launching it, because it has two exe files to launch it from. One for older graphic cards, and with older we mean, you know, Voodoo chipset graphic cards. A kind that you really don't have any longer. The newer one. Then the next problem is, once the game is actually launched, like this, in full screen of course, you can't actually leave the game, apart from, you know, pushing the exit game button. I don't know why, but you can neither alt-tab nor use your window key nor anything else, and if you then try to be smart with the game, go like, you know, Control-Alt-Delete in order to pull up the task manager, the game will just happily crash on your poor little self. Which of course means that, okay, I can now launch the game and I can play the game, but how the fuck am I gonna get it, well, captured? Bit of a pain in the ass, isn't it? So I had to then go through the whole song and dance of getting it to, well, launch in a windowed mode, then actually finding out that the original exe file, in order to launch it, will give you a very interesting, I always want to say VR view, the game's main menu, because you have basically this menu times 2 on your monitor then, and in a nice screen. So yeah, that didn't work out. Then the other one, that one worked, which gives you this one, which still leaves you with a very, very, very small window on your massive desktop. Really not fun to play like this, but at least then you can click outside the game without the game crashing on you. So that's good. And yeah, then I needed to find a way to, you know, get it to a point where I can read it. My eyes aren't the best any longer, so but it needed to be just a tiny little bit bigger than it was. And then I had to hopefully, perhaps, maybe get it to cooperate with Streamlabs just a tiny little bit, which was a royal pain in the ass as well, to capture it. And that's where we are now. It took me like a good fucking solid 2 hours or so to go through all of the options until I got it to this point. But yes, I think come new, one thing I will actually save up to is to actually buy myself a very old PC just for games like this, because there are quite a few that I would just like to, you know, get to run without having to go through the trouble of having to fucking jump through many hoops. Good. Now that we've talked about all of the difficulties ahead, and I hope you're feeling very bad for me having to go through set difficulties, let's talk a little bit about the game itself. As I said, the game is fucking golden. There's no other way to saying it. There are some graphical bugs we're going to have to suffer through, but that's not going to deter me from playing this game, mind you. And from my test sessions, it has run stable for at least, you know, 2-3 hours at a time. Sometimes a bit less, but, you know, that's pretty damn good. And I'm pretty sure the game auto-saves every fucking turn anyway, so it's not like we would run into the most troublesome situation of actually losing lots and lots and lots of progress, which is good. I sure hope that is a feature in this particular game, because I don't fucking remember. Now, talking a little bit more about the Guild in and of itself, the whole series that is, there are technically speaking, you know, 3 entries into this series. There's this one, the first one, which is the best one. I'm not even going to entertain any debate about this. This is by far the best title in the whole fucking series you can get. And if you can get it to run, you're gonna have fucking lots and lots of fun. And considering how old it is, you can probably get it for maybe not free, but for so cheap that, you know, it's probably gonna cost you €1 or 2. I don't even fucking know. I'm not gonna find out because I don't really want to randomly open up Windows when I have this running, and I want to minimize the option of it actually crashing. You know what I mean. Shut up, Kitty. I'm trying to tell an interesting story. Kitty wants to comment on this. He's apparently of the opinion, of course the very lesser opinion, that the Guild 2 might have been better. He's of course wrong about it. What would you expect from a fucking cat to understand about games? But do consider his opinion noted. Now, mentioning it, there is a second Guild title, which kind of consists of like 3 games at this point. I'm pretty sure there was the original Guild 2, then I think they made something with ships, pirates and something. And I think the third incantation of that particular game was the Renaissance, what was called Renaissance. I don't actually know if there was much Renaissance in it, because, well, the Guild 2 was kinda... See, if this old game is a bit of a pain in the ass to get to boot up, and to, you know, stream it, potentially, but that's still okay. The Guild 2 is a bloody fucking buggy mess, and I don't think it was ever fixed. That, and it kinda already lost a bit of the... how do I want to even call this? The glamour, so to speak, of what we have here. So it was already an inferior product. That plus bugs, plus... well... yeah... I mean, I played enough of it to come to the understanding that it's not good. At all. Now you might think, as it is often the case, if these games were really good, and I mean even the Guild 2 is quite playable if it doesn't crash on you, it's still quite entertaining of a game, just not, you know, as much as the first one, but still pretty fucking good. Why, dear great master of the stream, isn't there another one? And I'm here to tell you there is. However, that is the problem, quite often. The people who made the search, Guild, looked at the game and basically went not even skin deep into the matter of what that actually is, and then decided to create a game that is basically a lifeless husk that dares to wear the clothing of a once great series, as is quite often the case. It is... I played it in its early access stage, actually, quite a while ago. That was already horrible, as is not that uncommon with modern games. It was buggy, it wasn't really working well, let's just say. And I actually, not that long ago, a few months ago or so, I actually tried it again, because, well, no, it's not any longer early access, so I was like, okay, does it become a worthy successor of this particular series? No, absolutely not. As I said, they quite literally took the most... the shortest amount of time you could take a look at this and go like, okay, I have an understanding now how to do this. Of course they don't. Many of the actually rather fun assistants that are in the Guild 1 and 2 are either so, well, outright castrated that they're not actually fun to play around with. Even the whole aspect of automatizing your business, which is an option and is actually rather a sensible option, because quite a lot of the party are gonna be more invested in the politics of the cities and stuff like that. Of course, also with the very classical and very somewhat expected little cutscenes for the meetings of the different parts of the government in order to, you know, vote on shit. Even that is not in the third, it has not made it into the third incantation of the Guild. So yeah, if you want to make a good Guild game, what you need to do is, you know, you need to take your fist. I need to ram it up the Guild's 1 and 2 arse so fucking deep that you're literally having your elbow massaged by their sphincter, and then, once you're that far in deep, you need to just pull out everything that is in there, make a good note of it, and copy that. It isn't done with just looking at it from a distance. Maybe, you know, go so much as touch some titties, some Guild titties, and go like, okay, I now understand how this goes. Now, this is not enough. Can't recommend it even now that it's out of the early access stage. It's still garbage. Guild 2, somewhat recommendable, I think, at least from what I heard from a friend, because as I said, I haven't really engaged with the Guild 2 too much. The Renaissance, which is basically the the third incarnation of this particular game, is partly relatively stable, but is still pretty much a from pathfinding to other things for your cards and shit. Yeah, it's still not perfect, but it is kinda okay running wise. Now let's just hope that we never have to indulge that particular thing, because we can indulge with this. Also, by the way, originally I planned to play something else today, but since I actually got this to running, I couldn't help myself. I'm gonna say, sometimes you just need to do this. Now, I wonder... it's just good. We're not even gonna try network, because let's be honest here, the old-ass way, old-ass games try network play, because this game actually was multiplayer, mind you. Yeah, usually not working any longer, so let's not even try. I have the feeling the game will not like it. As for game options, game speed at 50%. Probably good, because when I did play a little bit, I am far from being the great master I once was of this particular game. Mouse speed, we're probably gonna have to play around with that. Panel design. Pretty sure I use marble all the time. Let's use wood this time. Tips and tricks. I don't need any tutorials, I just need to fucking remember what I'm doing. And that is all I need to remember. I'm sure we can figure the rest out, so that should be okay. Graphic options, we have a stunning resolution of 1024 x 768. Pretty awesome, isn't it? You wonder why it's so fucking hard to get this shit to run. Stuff like this. I don't think the game can even imagine a resolution in the, 1900 plus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the game can't. We're not going to play around with this. I have a distinct feeling it's going to not work well for me, so I'm not that stupid. And I'm pretty sure my PC can handle the high graphic settings. It will see the game is not that graphically taxing. I was kind of hoping and thinking that I might be able to show you the intro, because it's actually quite a nice little thing, but no, you will have to do without. If you want to see it, just fucking go to fucking YouTube, Google Europa 1400 or the Gilde intro, and I'm pretty sure you can find it of your own time, because I'm not going to restart this game and risk it not working. As for sound options, let me see, how loud are you according to Streamlabs? You're not peaking, so as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that's actually... Technically speaking, we should probably put this to far more frequent, but... we'll just let it go. And now that I've talked like a fucking waterfall for like 15 minutes, not only have I confirmed that my internet is actually working stable, my bitrate is doing its bitratey job, and everything else seems to be working out fine. We're gonna try our luck at this. And hope to God the game doesn't immediately crash. As I said, I have already seen there are some graphical bugs, and you will see what I mean, and I'll show you. But first we have to, of course, decide on a location to start for our little new dynasty, because at the end of the day, the Guild is a dynasty simulator, of course. So we have, what choices do we have? We have Madrid, London, Paris, Milan. Okay, so we can either be some Spaniards, very, very gay, of course. Who would want to do that? Stiff competition at the start of a game. Who would want that? Paris, I do believe, is out of question, of course, because I don't want to be a fucking Frenchie. How about London? Very easy. That sounds a bit too easy. Short distance for finding herbs. Right, depending on what job you do, that is actually rather important. How about Milan? Down to Italy. Difficulty very hard, very few building areas and increased competition. I mean, I have the option of being German, don't I? Hard, very many, double the town area. Or Berlin. Medium, average, none of special features. You know, considering that I haven't really played this seriously in a while, that's probably not a bad choice. I mean, you know, maybe if I have an option to go normal. I mean, it's Berlin, so, well, bad choice. Opponents A, B, C, D, and E, and they're all normal. That sounds normal enough. Continue. Please choose how easy or difficult the new game should be. I think it should be normal. Thank you. Now you can choose which history mode your game should use. In the actual history mode, you can quench your thirst for knowledge. If you want to play completely without history, select this mode. This is actually a nice little touch, because, well, every basically turn, one turn being basically the equivalent of a year in game time, The game basically gives you a bit of history around the place where the fuck you are, be it London or anything else, and gives you a bit of and in the rest of the world. And since the game is, well, rather tellingly set up in the 1400 on the dot for a start day, well, that's quite interesting. Which does remind me that I don't think I ever bothered actually checking up on some of the more intriguing little details there. I always was like, I really should and could read up about this or that event, but never came around to. So I'm gonna learn something about Berlin and the surrounding German lands in the year 1400, which means also, if memory serves, isn't this also during the Great Long War between the Frenchies and the Brits, isn't it? Pretty sure that is also going to be in that area. I suck at remembering numbers, so do excuse me, but I'm pretty damn sure. It was 100 years ago, wasn't it? Relatively certain. Don't quote me on that just yet. I'm sure if that is a thing, the game will tell us. Hopefully. As always. I might look so much stupid, but I can live with that. Yes, actual history, please. Now decide whether you want to just play a free game, which is precisely what you're going to do, or play against one another with assignments. I did in the past play with assignments. I don't enjoy it because, as I said, the game lends itself really well to just a free game where you basically play at your own rate, your own games, your own whatever the fuck it is you're after. In that particular regard, the game thrives, honestly does. It does amazingly well. While on the other side of the argument, it's okay. It works. It gives you something more clear-cut to do, especially against, or technically speaking, with the AI, but man, it ain't it. At least not for me. Free game shall be. Of course, as it is good and proper, we now need to create a character. As you can see, my name is already in there because, well, I tried at least launching the game into its actual game, the actual gameplay, because I didn't want it to take the fucking chance of, setting it all up, getting all excited, and then the game just crashing on me. Let's hope the game doesn't do it for the moment. And, oh right, yeah, I put it in. Because it's actually, I do know one family. I think they actually have Fonbergs, weren't they? Well, it doesn't really matter. Since we're gonna start out, at the lower end of the social strata, putting a noble font in front of that would seem rather strange, but technically we can't change it later, so we'll just be the Berg family. Also, I do like the word Berg. Sounds nice, doesn't it? My gender! What could it be? Male, female? Isn't it refreshing to have such a surprising lack of other options? Just simple, a man or a woman. I'm pretty sure, going off my name and off my facial hair, that I am indeed a man. Well, faith-wise, technically speaking, I kinda do miss one more option here, because technically speaking, if you have the Catholics here and the Catholic, you should also have the Protestants here, because I'm pretty sure they were around. Pretty sure the schism is... Actually, is the schism about to happen? I think actually the schism... Yeah, okay, to be fair enough, I think by the year 1400 the schism is about to happen, isn't it? With the whole Martin Luther and, nailing some shitty new ideas onto the church door and going like, I really don't like the fact that you're making yourself rich of everybody else and their faith. Pope. You asshole. I think I have an idea for how we're gonna play this. We're gonna start out in a lower strata, of course. Probably doing some grave digging, because I really dig the grave digging thing, creating creatures from the graves. People come to you, renting a grave, they die, you bury them, and then you dig them up again and reanimate them as undead creatures to serve at your fucking graveyard. The game, especially the expansion pack, because the Gravedigger and I think the Circus actually is part of the expansion pack that the guild got originally. And said expansion pack was just fucking awesome. Added just enough magic, basically, to the game to make it fun, while not completely dragging you out of the whole idea of, being in the Dark Ages and shit. really fun. You're gonna love it. But the reason why I came up with it, basically the first generation, you know, the man himself, Inchus himself, will be a nice little grave digger and work hard at that. But I think in the second generation, which, mind you, I don't even know if we reach at this point, because you can live quite long. Quite long, indeed. I kind of want to go towards more the preacher style, towards the church, because I do remember churches are pretty nice at making money. And now surprising, considering that it's a fucking Catholic church in the 1400s, which means people come to you to buy absolution and shit. Quite literally, they come to you to buy the right to be forgiven their sins, which is an amazing way to make money, obviously. That's fun, but I do remember churches being rather pricey, so since we do kind of want to try and use the automatization for most of our actual businesses, I think starting with a church is not an ideal way, so there's also a player and play reason for why we don't want to start with that, and instead start digging graves. That comes with a certain risk though, I'll have to say that much, because as you might imagine, there are many laws in any given city, and quite a few of these laws actually go like, you know, that necromancy stuff, yeah, that's forbidden now. Which is potentially quite a bit of a problem, because that means every single time you engage with, well, the mechanics of your business, you are actually committing a crime by raising the dead and using them as labor. Which, to be fair, is a fucking smart move, because technically speaking, you don't need to pay your fucking workers if they're fucking dead. We'll have some fun. Now then, we shall be Catholic, and in the future we shall become a preacher to save our souls, or, well, the next generation souls from the sins of the past. Something like that. As for my coat of arms, there is a nice little... I don't even know what it is supposed to be. Is it a griffin or something? But it has a nice black background and a nice golden lion wing thing, which I find rather intriguing. Of course, it depends on how autonomous the undead workers really are. Not very much, for the most part, like any other worker in this game, they just wait for instructions. But as I said, we're going to automate it, we're going to hire a necromancer to do the work for us, because we're, of course, too good for something like, you know, actually working. It's rather fun. As I said, this game is really fun, and if you can get your hands on it and you get it to run, man, you can, just on the, I think just on the GOG version alone, I have like combined 40 hours of playtime, which is not much, mind you, because I'm pretty sure I have the same amount on the Steam version, because for some reason I have it on both. But you do know this game came out long before Steam and GOG were popular enough for me to take notice of them, so I don't even want to know how many fucking hours I spent on this motherfucking game. Pretty sure I achieved everything you can. The highest degree of title, plus the best building you can live in with all the upgrades, which it costs millions to get there. But absolutely fucking worth it. Now then, shall we be an automatic or we choose our heritage? We shall choose our heritage, of course. Rather important. Look at those graphics. Amazing, isn't it? And what this does is basically determine your skill points. A father could be a thief, a craftsman, a priest, a trader, or a mercenary. Rather obvious, the thief is going to, well, have thief skills to give a part on you. The craftsman is going to give you handicrafts, so basically your ability to create shit. The priest is going to, I think, give you a rhetoric power, so basically the power of proper speech and how to fucking utilize it. The trader gets better prices, because that's the talent, and the mercenary gives you fighty stuff. And since we are going to invest into politics sooner or later, I think having a good rhetoric to our name would probably be a good start. Now, as for our mother, we have a trader, we have a poet, and a craftsman, and a thief. You know what, we go just full rhetoric, fuck it. Yeah, those are your skills. Negotiation, which is, rather obviously your ability to get good prices by when you buy and sell shit. And since, basically there are many businesses in this game, but fundamentally they all produce something, and then you take that something to the marketplace, you sell it, make money, and hopefully have enough money to buy some raw resources if you need them to create more shit. I think it was in the second Guild game where they actually introduced resource production things like food production from farms and shit that you could also own. But in this game we are basically always going to be in the secondary sector as far as, economics is concerned. Because we're not in the primary sector, the producing sector is not, technically speaking, existent. And the refining sector is where we are at. But as it is often the case, there's also, of course, the tertiary sector, which is directly serving customers, and to some degree that is also in the game. So you can be a bit of a mixed bundle when it comes to that. Now we have all the rhetorics, which is good. We can't get any more of it, which is kind of sad. Now, combat. We are not going to engage in combat. Mostly because, well, technically speaking, there's stuff like duels and shit later on that can be interesting, but it's not something you're going to do in your first generation. Stealth, if you're not running a Thieves Guild, you don't really need. Technically speaking, we do need stealth because, well, I mean, we're kind of engaging in necromancy, and that is usually illegal and can get you killed. For good reason, obviously. Handicraft is your ability to produce, and our dear little Ingeus, freshly created and, with dreams and ambitions galore, will never dirty his hands, picking up a shovel and, digging out the corpses himself. That is below him, of course. And negotiation, the ability to get prices. I don't actually remember if this directly works for your businesses, even if you're not running them directly and have somebody else running them, so I'm, somewhat confused. I think we're actually gonna try that. Just hoping that it works, because I don't fucking remember off the top of my head. As I said, it's been quite a while since I played this in any serious fashion, but it's worth it. Now these are the occupations. You can be a blacksmith, and I remember a long time ago I basically played this pretty much exclusively because I really liked the idea of, making swords and shit. A stonemason, I don't think I need to explain much about that. Joiner. A landlord, bit confusing, but it basically means that you're running pubs and shit. So, just in case you're wondering, no, we are not going to be an actual landlord just sitting there and renting out space. We are renting out space, technically speaking, because lots of, middle-aged pubs also served as, of course, rest stations. So there were usually either a common room that you could get into for a price, or if you had the necessary money, you could also, of course, get a private room. So long as the establishment you visited actually had some of those, because, of course, that is space that you're missing. So, a bit confusing, but you get the idea. And if the giant tankard with the foam didn't give it away that you're supposed to be selling the people alcohol. A perfumer, rather interesting. Basically a form of alchemist when you think about it, because, well, I mean, it's a very profitable business considering it's the Middle Ages, and people basically have the idea that bathing once a year is basically the highest form of hygiene, and anything more than this is just gonna make you sick. Man, that were really some dark ages. An actual alchemist, that makes people smell all happy, peppy, and nice. This is the kind of thing you do to curse people with, liquid drained from a dead toad or something. A preacher, the guy in the church, very, very profitable, but not necessarily ideal for our start, mostly because it actually costs quite a bit to automate your church. The thief. Doesn't really take much to understand what that guy does. Usually they come in two variants. The purse-cutting variant and the outside town bandit variant. Can be fun to play with. I did so in the past. Then there's the churchyard warden, which is a very nice way of saying he's basically the guy who takes care of the dead. Now there is one advantage to this class, I'll give you that alright, and that is the fact that people actually lease graves before they die. What that means is the people come up to you, pay you a few $100 for a grave, so that in case they die, they actually have a grave to, get buried in and not, get thrown into a fucking pile of corpses and buried with that. Which is a nice amount of money that comes flowing in. And, even better, since the contract only lasts for a few years, after that they will have to pay you again. This is pretty nice for your family, because you can basically, you know, randomly decide that you want one of the highest degree of graves that you can have, and be happy-peppy about it. Pretty amazing. Of a bonus for this job. Yeah, it does give you a nice boost to start off with. Then there's the Traveling Entertainer. I must admit, I really haven't played around with that much, considering... Oh, because well, the idea of being a circus monkey didn't really endear me too much. And the tailor. Also, not something that requires much in the way of explanation, so we're gonna be a churchyard warden. And that is how a classical churchyard warden looks, of course. Screams necromancer. So let's see if we cannot get something that looks a bit more pleasant. Okay, that looks like a entertainer. Better. You look like you have something very wrong with your bowel movement. Okay. Not really that many models, to be fair, to choose from, but... and let's see, where is the priesty boy? Oh, that one looks actually, clothing-wise, relatively nice. No, but we're just going to take it, otherwise I'm going to sit here for another 5 or 10 minutes just going through this. Now then. So this is basically the menu you get between every turn, which is basically, well, not this time, because we are just starting, but it tells you you're winning your profit, how much you get, how much you lost, and as you can see, there's a bit of a cutoff here. Which means, you know, technically this should be white as well, and there should of course be, you know, another part of this, but generally speaking, you know, it might not look nice, but I can see what it means. APs per round, +4. And since there's a total down there, not really a problem. My people will work from 8 to 8, which sounds good. So let's go in then, and, well, there's my little graveyard. Of course, one of the cool features of this game you can actually go into and go like, wow, look at that. Now, I think for the moment we want to create some helpers. So, there's Guardsman Bernard Tenner here. And, we want to create a new Kezara. Remember that by doing so you're committing a serious crime. Okay. Rise from your grave, bitch. And the town clerk. And I think that is everyone, because at the moment I don't think we have anything else than, you know, just some, well, mounts to bury people in. Now we go in here, and I think this was the one where you, yes, I had enough. Let somebody else do this. There are 3 helpers, and this is where the Master Craftsman, a necromancer that we basically hire to run the business for us, is going to be. What do you say? Unfortunately, shit, we don't have enough money, eh? Okay, fair enough. So we do need to make some money before we can actually get this done. We have 20 bones, and we have... Meaning that first we have to make some money before we can hire some help. Fair enough. What else? Rent a grave. I don't want to rent a grave yet. I want to keep those open. Layout plan is not really important. Don't need to create any more helpers. How do I look for bones? Bone skull.
Do you want me to clean your shoes?
Yes, creature. I would like you to clean my shoes. Okay, so how does one run a business again? I haven't run a business in a long while. I mean, that is true both in real life and in here. Let's see. We have one little card. That's okay. We can feed our helpers. I don't feel I need to feed these creatures. So how much would it cost to hire a master? I don't even actually remember. But I think it wouldn't cost more than $1,000 or so. What a spouse. That seems like a good start. Let's see here. You are 19. That is good. You have 40,000. There's a bit of a cheesy way you can get yourself a nice amount of money by getting somebody who is very, very wealthy. and then killing them. Because if they're your spouse, you're gonna get all of their fucking money. Personally, I don't really think I want to do this. It seems a bit, just a tiny bit cheap. I mean, you're young and you're rich, so... I mean, you know what? Yes, we're head over heels for the lady, we're gonna take her. My occupations, I'm a master. Degree 1. I have no evidence of anything doing anything wrong. I'm allowed a house. Which is rather important because it allows you to spend your AP on something. And then there is, of course, improvements you can get here. We're not going to buy anything for the moment because we kind of would like to save up, of course. To get ourselves a master and get ourselves out of, you know, just running the business ourselves. Let somebody else handle it. Seems like a, you know, a decently snobbish way of doing it. And let's see, that would require ectoplasma. Ectoplasma would require, however, that as well, and we don't actually have that. How much are you worth? Okay, that's not much. Let's say roughly 100. So we have 3 of them at the moment, which would mean we get over the 1,000. Where's storeroom? It's not the right one. Where is card thing? Are you card thing? You are card thing. Okay, that is kind of cut off as well. Don't worry, it's not really going to hinder me. I know most of the menus. Take all of them, put them in the cart, tell the cart to go from all the way over here to the marketplace. Okay, he is running now. Ah, a great city of Berlin, in the early spring of 1400. What a great place. Now, where's my house? Is that a black flag? That is a black flag, is it? Look, it's the house we live in. Here you can see when you can gain a new master's degree, because you need to reach higher in your chosen profession in order to well, upgrade your business even further. You can train your different skills in here. And you can, I think that's an option that came later on, jump out of the window. If you want to have the next generation basically take over. You can spy on people. Yes, you can view your evidence, and you can get more runes later on. You do have to build those for good money, so for the moment we're just going to...
One of your creatures returns from their search for bones.
Nice, yeah, found one fucking bone. You really aren't good. Ah, god, and yeah, that is a thing as well.
A grave has been rented. A grave has been rented.
Okay, I think, yeah, see, people are renting now my graves, which means we're getting some extra money in. That means we can go here and go like, find me someone, you know, works for me. Okay, market. Where would that be? Can I sell this here? No.
Introduces himself in one of your businesses.
Mystifisticals. Has he just called back the card? He probably has. He has immediately taken over, and of course now he controls everything that belongs to this business. So let's go in here and... so he's allowed to meddle in the business. He is allowed to hire staff. He's not allowed to buy cards because those are fucking pricey, and not allowed to make improvements. Minimum selling price level 100%. Sounds good enough. And this is, I think, the lowest I can give you. Production, you're trying to produce anything equally. That's okay, I suppose. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I was about to say it costs about 900 to get them to take over the more annoying parts of running a business for you. Yeah, that's kind of pricey, but okay. No, can I get another? What else? Books and lampoons are forbidden. That's nice. Okay, let's see. What will my improvements do?
A grave has been rented.
Collect bones bonus, productivity bonus, robustness of helpers. Okay, all of these are kind of neato and they're not that pricey, so we're just gonna work on all of those. So we can renovate the business, not really a problem. We can change the name. Pretty sure, yes we can. can tear it down and we can extend it with some other nice cool things. Extra burglaries. Compost heap. You can instruct your helpers to take care of the graves. Oh yeah, that is actually rather important. And small graves, those are also rather important. We do have some money to spend this year, so for the moment we are just going to massively fucking invest in our business, of course. You know, they're all doing things, and he is basically just sitting there managing things. What else can we do? We can take a look at the town hall. Rather important. Not only does the town hall later on become important because you can engage in, well, politics by applying to an office, but right now we don't actually have civic rights because we're just a gentleman. We need to become something better. That's usually going to take a while. Here you can also see what is allowed and is not allowed. Perfume is allowed. Potions are allowed, threatening is allowed, duel is allowed, thrashing is forbidden, blackmail is forbidden, theft is forbidden, sabotage is forbidden, the waylaying of transports is forbidden, and kidnapping and necromancy is allowed for the moment, which amazes me, but let's hope it stays that way. Because part of our business is, as you can kind of tell, the high art of necromancy. Financial laws. Sale tax is 10%, that's good. Guild tax 10%, church tithe is at 8%, and import duty is 8%. The inheritance tax, which is later on going to become important, is at 16%. Usurious interest is at 16%. The income level is medium, and bribery is allowed. Well, if I ever were in charge of a city's laws, I would of course allow bribery, because I can assume that people will then bribe me. Sounds reasonable. And some other nice little interesting little tidbits. That is kind of important if you actually find yourself in front of a court of law, because depending on, you know, how severe or, well, just it is, let's just say the more your punishment can be or not. As rather obvious now. Torture is allowed, of course. The town faith is Catholic. Good thing that we are Catholic at the moment. Books and the lampoons are forbidden. Yeah, okay, I mean, fair enough.
Your pocket has been picked.
Oh, great. I'm gonna inspect your pockets. You lose 34. And the first day is over. Okay, this is kind of hard to say. Yeah, see? We have made 471 by selling things. We have lost 1,100 in improvements, a total of minus 600. We have to pay a tail tax of 10%. We have to, of course, pay a church tithe of 8%. Which means we have another 308 minus. My loss in this round is a total of 1,084, I want to say. So, we're pretty poor at the moment. Yeah, it really shouldn't be much of a problem. Story time. Berlin, the capital of Middlemarch, lies between the Spree and Havel rivers. Elevated to town status over a good half century ago, Berlin is a flourishing, yet quite small, merchant town, which has made good progress thanks to its entry to the Hanseatic League, the alliance of the town of Köln. It's probably Köln, isn't it? Is it? Probably. Mayhaps. Potentially. Unfortunately, some envious members of the nobility, in particular the von Outsos, take every opportunity to make life difficult for honest Berliners. Which is always funny because we actually have a pastry that's called Berliner. Which is why the whole cool thing, you know, that whole Ich bin a Berliner from a certain United President makes me always smile just a little bit harder. Elsewhere, the 100-Year War, fucking knew it, between France and England has been raging on French soil for a good 50 years. Nothing uncommon there, that's just, you know, how it is. And then we get our usual. Now we have 8 AP this particular month.
An improvement has been added to one of your buildings.
Good, let's see here.
Improvement to one of your buildings is finished.
Losing our money.
An improvement has been added to one of your buildings.
All of our little upgrades. Okay, let's take a look.
An improvement has been added to one of your buildings.
An
improvement to one of
we can't do this because, well, we are not yet high enough in our profession to actually justify that.
Your buildings is finished.
What do? You give me around living. I will just attract the ghosts, especially those that like haunting humans. You can use these to put them onto a person you dislike. Okay, that's cute, but I don't think we can justify that expense. Actually, we can't afford the expense, so that's Even better reason to not do it. New graves. But the cool thing is, we can just go here, go like here, and rent a grave. Now we can do this, of course, without any money, because, well, the fucking graveyard belongs to us, so who's going to stop me from just telling them outright that is my grave now? Well, the answer is no one. No one whatsoever. Help us teamwork. That sounds interesting. You could send Barbara something this year to proof of your love in order to obtain a promise a little sooner. Can I? Holy fucking shit. A fragrant perfume. A promissory note. That's romantic. Sure. She mumbles thanks. She gets a random note from me is done. Now what I do kind of want to do, because you probably have realized at this point that there isn't really that much music. We're going to go here. And hopefully make the game play a bit more music, because some of the tracks are actually kind of nice and I would rather like to have them around. Now since this is the beginning of the game and we are basically no one and we're not even technically speaking a citizen, right-wise, we'll have to, you know, waste our time a little bit. And what can we train? We can train our negotiation skills.
The town council has bestowed the freedom of the town on one of your opponents.
Yeah, that is basically what we're waiting for happening for us as well. Ah, there's the music again. This is basically the overview over your stuff. You can change pretty much anything in this menu for your own liking. You can see how much money you have. Basically nothing at the moment. This is your inventory, rather important. Because it allows you to basically use things from there that you can buy. Let me give you an example if you can find one. Wood and iron, yeah. Stuff like the silver ring is the most basic bitch of things. It basically gives you a 10% increase in your standing for 3 rounds with all of the town servants, town bailiffs and informants, which is the lowest strata of the town's political sphere. So if you ever want to go in there, you kinda will probably have to use stuff like this. Yes, stuff like the walking stick as well. All of these items are basically use items. You equip them for a while and then, you know, they get, well, I always imagine they just get, you know, used up in the way of that they, you know, get dirty and the walking stick breaks at some point, the ring loses its luster and shit like this. So basically use items that give you different bonuses. Now I would like to show you the system of becoming involved politically, but we cannot because right now we are not citizens yet, and that is going to, so that is the wood I was talking about is a background. You can change that. You can have a marble background and other things. Kind of cute. I've decided wood for today will be the thing. There's a church here. And that is where we're going to aim our next generation at. Now since I don't actually remember... Ah, the master is already improving the storage. I think that is something I can't actually see right now. Because if you tell the master to take over, he will, and he will make use of his annual budget. Even if you don't want him to.
A grave has been rented.
But the good thing is, right now he's not buying any cards. Because that's a simple card, you know, with one little thing. It's the big one with 2. Yep, the one you kind of want to have for 1,500. Quite pricey. But alas, it is what it is. I guess for the moment, since, well, we are off to a slow start, of course, we'll just let some time pass, train some skills, and wait to become citizens, basically. Because, of course, at the beginning of the game, and that is always going to be a thing in pretty much any game, whatsoever, money is going to be a decisively choking factor.
You have managed to improve your skills in the negotiation talent. Keep practicing, and you will soon notice an appreciable improvement.
We will. Which does remind me, we can also, of course, not only upgrade this, but we can also upgrade our little house. And sooner or later we're not going to live in a house, we're going to live in a fucking mansion, of course. Home without court. Fair enough. Create new rooms. Yeah, I was about to say that's going to be pricey. Not necessarily a bad choice to start with the library, because that will allow us to get our rhetoric up a bit. As for extensions, we can get a chimney, which gives me improvements in health. That is rather nice. Protection from burglaries, not that important. Standing bonus, rather neato. And 1 HP bonus. Oh, that is fucking nice, isn't it? Okay, I want that. I want fucking that. And I want fucking that. I don't think we are yet even close to being, you know, important enough to get burglarized. Not much. There's something to, I'm sure the master will take care of that. So you can zoom out quite a bit, zoom in quite a bit. And you know, considering how old this game is, I'd still say it looks pretty okayish, doesn't it? Ah, excuse me while I take my head. Kind of a bit of a stiff neck. See the little city starting to build up. But yeah, for the moment we're gonna take a nice waiting approach, basically. What did I name these in the past? I mean, the last time I seriously played this, I was kinda still pretty infantile, wasn't I? You know what? Let's just go for a Classica. Oh. Don't have enough space. I mean, it gets the message across, I say. Why is that the name of the business, you might wonder? Well, because originally I used to start with the church quite often, and then, you know, it was just the Holy Virgin or something. I was like, how about the Schmaxy Holy Virgin? That's gonna get some customers. And ever since then I basically have tried to introduce that to every business's name. Sadly, as you just saw, yes, not that much in the way of space there, sadly.
A grave has been rented.
Ah. I wonder if I can find a better way. Oops. To write this. Can I move? No, I cannot move. Nah, that's also 4 letters. Fuck.
An improvement to one of your buildings is finished.
An
improvement to one of your buildings is finished. An improvement to one of your buildings is finished.
It's a good way to waste time, because, well, as I said, the early game is, you know, it's gonna be a bit slow, because we're not even a fucking citizen right now. So it gives you time to actually think about this in great detail. I mean, I guess I could. Gets the message across.
You break too many things, the master said.
You grassed on him, did you?
Yes.
I would never do that.
I've always known that you're a rotten liar.
Well, I mean, he's not only just a rotten liar, he's quite literally rotten, as in rotten inside. Teamwork, yeah, that is good. Let's get that as well out of the way. I do love this. Yeah, that sort of, you know, just zapping around in your little building, doing shit like this. It is fucking amazing, isn't it? Really don't know why we're not doing this any longer. Oh, right, because the last time somebody tried that, I forgot that completely. Gilde, the Gilde 3. You can go into some buildings, but it really has not anything of the charm that this fucking ancient ass fucking game has. Bloody amazing, I tell ya. Time to go home. Let's see. Did we make any money here? Probably not. You lost this round. Minus 500. My cash is unreadable, but well, I don't really care. The von also, noble family will not let it lie. Yet again, there's a bunch of robber barons, bailiffs, campaign against the town to subjugate its people, the ongoing vote. Fortunately, we have a long-standing alliance with Cologne against these troublemakers, so that we might silence the von Hertzos. I have a distinct feeling that will not work out well. Working hours, once again, we have now 7, because we have a bonus from there, which is good. And next year we do have...
added to one of your buildings.
We do have... what's the word? Next year we can get ourselves a new master degree, a master grade. I don't remember how much that costs. I'm hoping not as much, because I would like to, you know, get more negotiation. So let's hope that we get enough points back. There's an option to fast forward by using this nice little clock up here. But I think for the moment I'm just gonna, you know, enjoy my time watching my little creatures do their work. At least the weather is rather fitting. Please remind me, how much longer do I need to wait on my little lady? 8 years at the moment. Well, it is what it is. Oh, it's time again we can send her something. What can we send her? An ancient treasure map for 900. You know what? Sure, we go for gold here. Bam. Barbara blows you a kiss. Nice. We're getting somewhere. The odd plan. Okay, so I think all of the mounds are rented already. Yeah. And one of the small graves. There's got to be, you know, big ones and then even bigger ones. Basically whole crypts that we can rent out. And of course,
the town
they
council
cost.
has bestowed the freedom of the town on one of your opponents.
Lancelot Underwood. Fair enough game. Some of the naming sense, I did like them when I played this in German, all the way back. Some of the naming sense for the characters, because they were just golden. I don't know how much that will actually work out in English, but I mean, if that is to go by.
Bestowed the freedom of the town on one of your opponents.
Not gonna stop me right now. Ingramtic B. The what? EFU? What's that supposed to be? Why does everybody feel the need to shorten things? And then expect me to understand what they're talking about. But I mean, technically speaking, if there's a game and it has a Daggerfall. Daggerfall. Yeah, but that makes it more understandable. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right, I still haven't tried it out. But I mean, if it has a weep overhaul, I guess that makes it higher on the list of my priorities. It's still never going to top, you know, stuff like this when I get it to run. I'll be quite honest with you, but I'll never say never.
Congratulations. You have managed to improve your skills in the negotiation talent.
Nice.
Keep practicing.
Next year we're going to train, but I'm sure if there is a good overhaul mode for that, that makes it at least far more likely to be seen, to be fair. Fuck. So Robber Baron Fortresser Robber. Robert. Not rubber as in rubber, as in rubber tires. No. Robert as in robbing pigs. Very important distinction there. I do kind of want to buy my little guy here a nice big cart, but to be honest, yeah, that would get all my money gone. It's a miracle. Look, sunshine. Pretty nice. What would one name their first little home? Actually, I do love that the game just assumes that, you know, if you're new in a city and you just start out with one singular business and already having a house to your name, I think that's a pretty good starting point that most people actually will not start off if they start, you know, trying to achieve anything in life.